I'm Gwen, Preston of Resource Maven. We're here at the Metals Investor Forum in Vancouver in September, and I'm joined by Scott Close of EMX Royalty. EMX does a lot of different things. You find new projects, you sell them to retain royalties, you buy royalties, but one thing that you do that we need to focus on today is make strategic investments, and we need to focus on that because there's been this big news event for EMX recently where one of the strategic investments that you made 7 years ago is now about to return five-fold money to you in that time frame and put almost 90 million Canadian dollars in EMX's bank account. So obviously a big news event. So talk to me a bit about how EMX was able to do that. I see it as EMX is a uniquely entrepreneurial set of skilled technical people, and that combination of strengths means that you can identify these kinds of opportunities.
Right, so we always have a team of geologists scouring the globe, whether that's boots on the ground or through desktop studies, or just through our comprehensive network of geologic intel, looking for opportunities.
Right.
And through that, and a connection that we have at Freeport-McMoRan, we came across this opportunity in Russia.
Right.
And because Freeport were the first people to really go in there, and they were the ones who originally came up with that piece of ground.
Right.
And they had partnered that with IG Copper. IG Copper is run by a guy named Tom Bowens, who used to run Far East Russia for Lucas Lundin.
Okay.
And so he was very acquainted with that part of the world, knew how to operate in Russia, and he's an excellent geologist. And he needed to raise funds to come up with his portion of the exploration costs in the joint venture to advance that property.
Right.
And so when we came across that, we thought it was a very interesting project with a tremendous amount of potential, and we weren't necessarily put off by the jurisdiction of Russia, although a lot of people engage in a lot of hand-wringing when you say the word Russia, but to tell you the truth, we have found Russia to be a very amenable jurisdiction to work in, honestly.
Right, and I think that's another interesting aspect of the story. I mean, EMX has worked in places all over the world. I visited EMX when you guys had projects in Haiti.
That's right.
I mean, you work in the Nordic countries a lot, and you have these assets in Russia, you have assets in Turkey, you're in a lot of places. And that's a strength, I think, that you're able to, that you have the operational experience in all these jurisdictions to sort of be able to see the forest for the trees, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so a lot of these jurisdictions that we've gone in that other people might not necessarily have gone into,
right,
we view as a political arbitrage.
Right.
So, for instance, Serbia is an example.
I was just going to bring up Serbia as another great example for you guys.
Right, we were the first people to go into Serbia after the Balkan Wars simmered down, and in that there was a lot of opportunity because our due diligence determined that the perceived risk was up here, where the actual risk was down here.
Right.
And in that lied opportunity because there was no competition in there, and the cost of picking up properties in the Timok magmatic belt there, which is a very prolific copper producer, was very low.
Right.
And we saw that similar type of opportunity in Far East Russia.
Right.
We were able to take advantage of that.
And now both of those have parlayed into successes. I mean, in the
Indeed.
Timok belt, you now have a nice royalty on one of the best undeveloped copper assets in the world that Nevsun now owns.
Yep.
And now in Russia, IG Copper and Freeport have just sold the Malmesh project to the Russian Copper Company for a significant sum that, because of your ownership and after fees, is going to put
88 million Canadian dollars into the EMX treasury, which is more money than we have cumulatively raised through the history of the company, and we've been publicly traded for 15 years now.
Right. So not only is the royalty income from the royalties that you already own, plus project payments, already putting the company pretty close to cash flow positive. You were already sort of walking that balance. You're very close, which already unique amongst exploration companies, that you don't really raise money. Now, bam, you have a whole bunch more money to go out and sort of ramp up, I would say, your whole business plan.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And he refuses to say any more than that about what they're going to do with the money.
No, I think that we're going to be very judicious in the manner in which we employ that capital. We're going to use a very high filter there. We will only engage opportunities that we find very compelling and accretive to the company and our shareholders. That may entail the acquisition of a royalty or a package of royalties that would make us decidedly and sustainably cash flow positive. Once that is achieved, then I think you would see an entirely new share price for the company.
Well, certainly. Royalty companies trade at a different premium, and
Yes.
if you re-rated to that premium, that would be a really significant move for sure.
Indeed.
And now you have that potential if you can just find that royalty package.
Yep.
Well, have fun hunting. It's always fun to hunt with a big bank account that you've earned from a savvy move. So congrats to EMX, congrats to EMX shareholders, and thanks for chatting.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you.